The problem says, given a root of an N-ary tree, return a deep copy of the tree. Each node in the N-ary tree contains a val and a list of its children. For problems like this, knowing this can be solved using recursion is not hard, but writing them out could be challenging. In this video, I'll go through the thinking process of writing out recursion code. Hopefully, this will help you have a better understanding of recursion. So, what is recursion? Recursion is basically working on the same thing on each layer again and again until we get to a certain point and return. I'll start with the binary tree. For example, we want to make a deep copy of this tree. Instead of thinking of the entire tree, which has so many layers, let's start with a very simple one. For example, this layer. We will ignore everything above it and everything below it, just like it only has a root and two leaves. If we want to make a deep copy of this tree, the answer will be like this. First of all, making a deep copy of the root node. Secondly, making deep copies of two children nodes and appending them to the root. Finally, the copied root node was returned and we got a deep copy of this little tree. This is what one layer is doing. It makes a deep copy of itself and appends the deep copy of two children down below. So, what if this root node has a parent node like this? If we only look at this layer, the code will look something like this. Which is exactly the same as the previous one. However, this time we know what we want to append here is not just doing a simple copy of the node itself, but the return of this function, because this function not only copied the root itself, but also handled the node's children. However, you might have noticed, what about the node here? The repetitive behavior corresponds to what we have talked about at the very beginning. Recursion is doing the same thing again and again, but until which certain point? The answer is null. If we meet null, we're just gonna return null. Writing them out, here's the complete version of the code. Let's move on to the N-ary tree, which is basically the same. Instead of having no more than two children, they will have a list of children. What you need to do here is just to append the returned node from each one of the nodes beneath this. Here is the code. The copy of this code we'll put in the Git book, and the link is in the description.